All right. So Shane here from Sharing Science, and I guess you missed our webinar on Intro to Social Media for Scientists, but no worries. If you got 10 minutes or a little less than that, we can give you a quick wrap up. So the first thing we always get asked is why use social media? Well, there are a ton of reasons to do it, but especially right this very second, we are all online. We're not doing anything in person. Online is the way to communicate right now. And so it's just the way we're getting information out there. So it's a great way to share science. Social media is a fantastic platform to also help you achieve a bunch of different goals. You can get feedback on work, you can humanize science, you can advocate for science, you can just entertain folks or inspire folks, or a whole slew of different reasons. There are also a bunch of different ways to get noticed. So, say you have a study and you want to get it noticed by a journalist, get picked up in the popular press. Social media is a good way to do that. The community on social media is fantastic, especially the Twitter and Instagram community. I've seen scientists actually create collaborations with folks they've met only online and establish long-term friendships and professional relationships. And finally, it's a fantastic way to increase representation. Not all scientists look like the old white guy in a lab coat. Science is diverse and scientists are diverse, and social media can help amplify that message. So to recap, it's 2020. It allows for a ton of goals. It's a really great way to get your work noticed by diverse audiences. There's a fantastic community out there on all sorts of platforms. And it's a great way to increase representation and show that science is for and by everyone. So, all right, I've convinced you on why social media is important. Well, who's out there? The great and also daunting thing about social media is that it's everyone. The audiences for social media are broad and diverse. They range from classrooms to chamber of commerce to journalists to friends to peers to all sorts of different folks. So it might seem daunting in the beginning that how do I tailor a message to the audience, but it can be a really fantastic thing that there are so many folks out there. And there are different ways and different opportunities to tailor your audience. So different platforms allow for different tailoring. Things like Facebook can do you can have certain audiences that follow you. You can approve or disapprove of different folks. So you can tailor your audience depending on the platform. And also, no matter who your audience is, try to think about what they want, what you want, what their goals are, what your goals are. So remember, your audience could be anyone, and that's potentially daunting, but also a good thing. Some platforms will let you tailor your audience more than others, and so if you're interested in that, seek those platforms out. And finally, remember to think about no matter who your audience is or what platform you're on, think about your goals, and their interests and concerns, because this will help you tailor your message to those audiences. So you've figured out why, you figured out kind of what your audience is. Well, now you need to consider what outlets are you going to use. When thinking about this, think about your purpose or your mission. Why are you doing this? What types of audiences do you want to reach? Is it a younger audience? Maybe it's better to be on TikTok or Twitter. Is it more friends and family? Maybe it's better to be on Facebook. Also think about what you want your voice to be. Is this an institutional account where you have to have the voice of the institution you're representing? Or is this your own account where you want more of your personality to come across? Those are really important considerations. Also think about time. All of this takes time. And things like Twitter only require a few seconds to shoot off a tweet, but actually establishing relationships with folks will take a little bit longer. So think about realistically how much time you have and how much time you want to invest into this, because that's really going to matter. Also, what do you want your reach to be? Do you want to reach folks outside of the sciences, within your sciences, peers, friends, family, whatever it might be? And finally, think of the medium. You just want to be writing or pictures or videos or a combination of all of those things. So to recap, think about your mission. Why are you doing this? What do you want your voice to be? Is it personal? Is it professional? Is it a little bit of both? How much time do you have? How much time are you willing to put into this? Also, consider your audience, your desired reach, how far, how many people you want to get the word out to. And finally, think about the medium. Again, is this photos, videos, audio, a combination of all of those things? That'll help you choose the best type of outlet. Well, now you know why you want to do it and kind of how you're going to do it. But how do you measure if you're successful? It's one thing to determine you want to go out and do this thing. It's another to measure what kind of impact you're actually having. So for say something like maybe Instagram or Twitter's, maybe it's just followers, the number of people who are following you who are interested in what you have to say. Maybe you want to dig a little bit more into that, like impressions or Twitter analytics or something. You can determine how many likes or retweets or shares if you're on something like Facebook or repost on Instagram. So this followers is kind of the top level, digging down more into the impressions, these kind of more involved type of analytics. And then finally, the cream of the crop, but also one of the most difficult to measure and also to do, is to have actual two-way or multi-way engagement, establishing dialogue with your followers, actually responding to them and having conversations. And that's the best thing to do because communication is about dialogue, but it also takes a lot of time. So at the top level, you have just sheer number of followers. Then maybe next down, it's about engagement and impressions. And again, the end all kind of be all, but also the one that takes the most time is going to be this kind of back and forth dialogue, this true engagement. So a bunch of different ways to measure success. Finally, what happens if you are trolled? There are all sorts of different ways to deal with trolls. It's going to be really dependent on what your tolerance for trolls are. And frankly, most of you will probably not get trolled, but it's important to think about what you would do if you are trolled for whatever reason, whether that's about your science or you personally or whatever it might be. The first thing is, do you engage? This is something to think about going into social media. Do I even want to engage with this person or this bot or whatever it might be? And that's going to dictate all of your actions moving forward. And so maybe if you do want to engage, it's important to realize that that troll is not necessarily your audience. So to keep in mind that your real audience are all the other folks who follow you and who are engaged with you and who actually care about what you're saying in a positive way. So maybe you decided you want to engage, but think that it's probably not the best thing for you. It's fine not to. Just block them or just don't engage with them at all. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice to engage or not to, but make sure you plan that in advance. Be aware that your real audience is actually everyone else, so moderate your tone when engaging with the trolls. And frankly, if you don't want to engage and you can't just ignore them, you can actually consider muting or blocking them. Your mental health is the most important thing that matters. It should be an enjoyable experience and not one that you dread. So keep all these things in mind. We hope that you will visit our website, follow us on Twitter, and join the Sharing Science community where you can talk to other folks who are really interested in science communication, outreach policy, all of these larger science and society things. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you at a future webinar.